Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 290 of Kouryer Podcast. Our today's guest is Mr. Frank Lorenzetti. He's a senior principal concept artist from Montreal, Canada. And of course, in the captions, you can find the ID to his, our session account and also the link to his portfolio page as well. And with that being said, I guess that's a brief introduction that I go through. And of course, I'm sure you guys are actually, let me change the grid. Now it's better. See, this shows my lack of experience with recording with Discord. As you can see, the format has been changed, and yes, so from now on we'll probably we'll be moving forward with either Google Meet or Discord as of now. So yeah, I hope you like the new formats, or you don't. I'm sorry. We'll try to find a better way to get back to the old format. But for now, let's go to the conversation of our today's guest. Well, how we doing, my man?
Pretty good, thank you. Just finished my work day, and yeah, I have some time to chat with you.
All right, awesome. And well, I think we had a pre-recording talk, about how I found your stuff. But for the people who don't know, actually, there was a link to the art blast of basically the Guardians of Galaxy game, the 2021, which I actually linked it down in the description below for anyone who's interested to see the other artists, like maybe 3D artists, 2D concept artists, or lighting artists, anything. It's all there. It's a huge, nice compile list. And the guy who did it also did for other games as well. So definitely check the profile of the guy. I think it was Daniel something. I don't remember, but the link is down in the description. That being said, I found your work through there, but then, of course, I did a little more research to find more of your work here, right? Because I was like, damn, this is awesome. There's some awesome stuff right there. Some gourmet art right here. So I found your art station, and I was kind of shocked. It was kind of interesting. There was a ASCII kind of art, which kind of I think of a donkey with a dialect box, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, do you remember the one I'm talking about?
The donkey?
No, was it a donkey or a horse? I don't know. I'm not. It was an ASCII art, so it was not really, obvious one. But basically, the context was that in the dialect box it was written that I'm leaving our station. I'm just leaving.
Oh yeah, it's cow talk.
It's what?
Cow talk.
Cow dog?
I don't know. It's like a character made with characters from the keyboard.
Yeah, ASCII art. They usually call it. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, it was just my statement. I think it was 2 years ago. I don't know, when all of the AI drama happened with our station.
Going on, by the way. And by the way, 3, 4, 5 days ago, there was an upload on your R station. What changed?
What changed? It's just that I discovered. It's not that I just discovered, but I decided to put in place the nightshade.
Oh.
Nightshade. And I said, I read about it. I was like, you can poison your artwork to confuse the
algorithm.
The algorithm, right? So I was like, okay. So maybe it's time to go back and help to confuse the algorithm.
That's awesome.
And that's what I just tried to do a few days ago. Yeah. By the way, can you hear my cat?
That's actually, I was gonna say, it's fine. Totally, don't worry. You're not gonna be the first episode that's gonna have cats as special guests. By the way, we had quite a lot.
Okay.
They're always more than welcome. The podcast is animal friendly as hell. So yeah, we always encourage bringing them on the podcast when possible. But speaking of that, I'm not a technical expert on the nightshade and stuff like that, but if you know any basic information, could you tell us how they work? Because the thing is, for example, if maybe the AI couldn't really exactly extract the data from the file that is on the web, that's on the server of the website. But what if someone takes the screenshot of that, then fed it to the AI? Would that still work?
I don't know. Honestly, I just hope it works.
I have a solution here. Well, not exactly a solution, but something that's been really popping off in the past couple of days. Kouryer. Have you heard about the social media Kouryer?
Yeah. I just everybody I see in those days, I open an account.
Yeah, everyone's
on Kouryer. Yeah, I'm following that trend. I just open it and I post 2 images, but I'm pretty busy at the moment, so I'm not putting too much effort on developing the things. Actually, I'm not a big fan of developing my social media or whatever thing.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you're established, like, I mean, honestly, I think as not just as art, like as in anything, long as you're established in the industry and the position you're working, I honestly don't even need social media. Like this is just my 2 cents. Like if I was like also like I don't know senior artist or someone who or like all right, I got a good portfolio, I got good connections. Like, why would I need social media? It's just an extra unnecessary like headache, in my opinion, for me even as well. I don't know how it is for you.
Yeah, I had some not requests, but some friends from my home country, like old friends from high school. Sometimes they ask me, "Hey, why don't you post anymore?" I mean, they're kind of curious to see what I'm doing. They were used to follow like my journey at the beginning and stuff like that. And then, yeah, suddenly, I start to become very busy, and I didn't find the necessity to keep updating my social media accounts. And sometimes when I hear them, it's like, oh, but are you still working? Are you still drawing? Are you still busy? Like, oh, yeah, every week, 40 hours a week. I'm still painting and drawing and doing everything. It's just I cannot post the stuff I do for work because I'm under NDA. And aside that, personal work, I'm not so motivated to post on social media.
Yeah, man, honestly, good for you. Like if I had that luxury to not give it like damn about social media, that would be awesome. Like because in this day and age, you need to be like to show how active you are. Of course, that's how it is not to show, like just for you to be an active, like as an individual, you need to always consistently post your updates, work in progresses, and because so in case you apply for a job and the recruiter is interested in your portfolio, they would of course do a background check on you, your social and stuff like that. So that would reflect well, positive in that phase of the interview and application. So there's all this like new aspects to this whole puzzle of getting into the industry, I guess. But yeah, that's like interesting point.
I mean, don't get me wrong. If I need, let's say, because of something happened and we saw what happened, like recent time with the video game industry, a lot of layoff or stuff like that, budget cut. I mean, if I would need to find a new job or have like an urgent situation, I would probably get back and work on my social account for sure. I think it's normal. It's just right now I have this luxury. I don't need it at the moment, but we never know. We never know.
Dude, honestly, I think you should start posting on Kouryer, and because that's like made for actually artists and it's super anti AI. Like that's actually the main reason Kouryer exists. It's like a counter attack against the whole AI thing that's happening. And like I also saw like some of your concept arts on Reddit, actually, not even on your website. It was I think one of the early concept arts of the Cyberpunk game, and I think some of your work was among them. And I was like, wow, how did I miss this stuff? And yeah, man, you should definitely post this stuff on Kouryer, like seriously.
Oh, I will. I just found it that I think it's reasonable. It was pretty slow. I think they were not ready to handle the bandwidth with
100,000, 400,000 new users in just a couple of days. So their servers are like, but they're doing their best,
Yeah, I saw today that they have like a page where you can kind of offer coffee. I think it's to pay for the bandwidth for the server.
Yeah.
I might support them. Why not?
Exactly. And for anyone who's listening, if you can support, do support. Yeah.
No. It's like good service, and it's good to go against the establishment. Meta and stuff. They're taking advantage of the situation, or I think it's good if we can do it.
Yeah. And all right, so another thing that I want to ask you definitely as well is tell us about your origin story of basically what led you to in your life to choose the path of artist. What led you to decide to become an artist, basically, like as your main thing in life.
Okay. Yeah, but let's start from the very beginning. I think like many artists, I start to draw before start to speak. Kind of, I think it's pretty normal for if you ask to know artists, I was obsessed with drawing monster at the very early age. And we are talking about, I was maybe 4 or 5 years old. I was already like drawing monsters. And by the way, little context, I was living in the Italian part of Switzerland, in the Alps, in a little village. My father was a farmer. Now he's retired. And my father was also a graphic designer and an illustrator aside. He was doing
Damn,
some
that's
music.
interesting.
So I had my father as a big influence and inspiration for me, and also my grandfather was a oil painter, landscape painter. So yeah, in my family, art was always very well seen and supported. So yeah, from there, on the art field, I always had the best support from my family. Okay, so 5, 6 years old, I discovered skateboard, and I started to become a skater. And from there, the skateboard universe led me to graffiti. And here we are around the high school period. I was going skateboard, snowboard as well, all of those kind of like adrenaline sports, and doing graffiti at the same times. And then after the mandatory school, I had to make a decision. I could decide to go to the art school or go to the mechanic school. I was not sure. I wanted to become mechanic for helicopter. But I don't know. I think the freestyle skater kind of vibe led me to the art school. And so I did. And I took the painter, I'm looking for the course. It was a course where they were teaching us to become like house painter at first, and then decorator painter with the very old technique to make like a trompe-l'oeil, which is like those decorations you can find on very old houses, or some rich people like to have like crazy decoration on their swimming pool room or on their facade, these kind of things. And there I had like solid foundation for life drawing, figure life drawing, color theory. We explore lots of traditional techniques. To put in context, those were the late 90s. So computers, I think we had a course of Photoshop, but very, very basic. Like I didn't saw a Wacom tablet at the time. I didn't know it. So I graduated as a house painter and decorator painter. And after that, I went to the comic book school of Milan. And I did illustration. And aside, I was also following some realistic comic book courses. At that time, we had a digital illustration class. Still not very advanced at that time. We explored lots of traditional technique, oil, watercolors, etching, all of those kinds of things. And do I'm going too far? Can I keep going?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Okay. So I finished the comic book school as an illustrator, graduated as an illustrator on 2006. And right after, at the time I didn't know about the concept artist position. It was not very popular actually in the north of Italy, or in Italy in general, and in Europe in general. The entertainment industry was not very proliferant. It was not very present. And internet, was there, but was not like today. And I think it was right after the school that I stopped. I saw like a work from Sparth. I think you know him.
Yep.
And I was like, damn, wow, all right, what's that? So at that point, just like a new universe opened up to me. And I discovered like all of the digital concept art world. And from 2006 and 2009, I was working as a house painter to make some money. And I was training myself with the resources I was finding online in the internet to become like a alleged digital concept artist. Until at some point, I realized that I needed some connection. I was there like kind of in a vacuum. Concept art was not a thing there at that time. So I decided to save the money painting houses, and I took 2 terms at economics school in LA, Hollywood. And that school was a big step up. I learned a ton. I met some of the professional teachers that they were working in the industry. I saw how it worked. They explained the techniques. And of course, they helped me to build my first portfolio to get my first job. And in 2011, I got my first job, thanks to the training I had with those schools.
All right, and I guess the story doesn't end there, right? So before you continue, can I just like add something to it? Because I'm sure that the answer to this question will come late in your later sentences that you're going to say. The next question that I was going to ask also was, all right, that was the story of the beginning of your journey as like what led you to where you are right now as an artist, right? But my next question is, why out of like all of these positions and roles, you ended up and choose to become a concept artist? Like, why not, I don't know, like any other positions? And how's the experience been working as a concept artist, from the beginning till now, like, in the industry? Which, of course, is, I assume, is the next chapter of the answer you were going to take, right?
You mean that why I choose to focus, let's say, on the environment aspect of concept art, or
Just
concept art?
concept art, in general, just concept art. Why not like any other roles? What led you to that?
I think was the fact that I was better on 2D, and I'm sorry, my cat, it's crazy loud right now.
It's fine.
It's distracting me.
You can hug it if you want. You can have your cat in your lap if you want, if it helps.
I think it doesn't want to come close to me right now.
Probably wants attention.
Yeah, exactly. I think he wants food or something. Want to play.
Yeah.
So why concept artist? So let's say I found I love to draw environment like epic landscape, and I love to draw monsters. Long story short, so I found that concept art, concept artist was like the perfect job that match with that. That you don't have to stay coherent for, let's say, 3 months of work, like a comic book artist. You basically need to explore, reinvent something every time. So it's very creative. And they allow you to just focus on what you like most. You can pick what you like and just do it. And separate all the rest. I found that's pretty amazing.
All right. And how has the experience been working as a concert artist now, like throughout all these years? Like, let's say this question relates to after post 2011 segment of your career.
I think things change a lot from when I started. Let's say there is one aspect that it's always there. Is like I always need to kind of answer to the question of, I don't know, my leads, my directors, or the client. So there is always this commercial transaction aspect. And that is there. It's just like, you pay me, I give my service. What changed? It's probably the fact that with experience, I can extend my range of expertise. So I can expand my, how we can say, my answer can be contextualized better for the client. Sometimes I can answer to multiple problems that are not just conceptual related, but in a more broad, let's say, in a more development environment than just conceptual to concept design aspect. But yeah, that's...
All right.
I don't know if I answered the question. Did I?
Yeah. But now here's another thing. Like, of course, like at this point you're a veteran in the industry, right? And of course, for anyone who's watching this on YouTube, you're probably like, I don't know, by the way, how I'm gonna edit this episode, like, because most of my episodes are just 2 screens and like a reel of the artist reel above us on YouTube. But I don't like how I'm going to edit this up. But if I did and you're seeing a reel of the artworks, you're probably gonna see like some of his works from like the early concepts of Cyberpunk, like in the earliest stages of its development. There's works on Guardians of the Galaxy. There's the link to the website is down in the description, by the way, if you want to see all his projects. So you worked on a lot of cool projects, like throughout your career. Mouse Guard, I think, was one of them. So here's two main questions that I think would be really interesting to people. Would be really interested to hear your answers on. One is, what are some of the golden rules in your experience working as a concept artist in a studio or team, right? Based on your experience working in different settings, right? That's the first part of the question. And the second part of the question is, what does the structure of your pipeline look like whenever you want to start working on a piece or a project? Basically, how does your design process work? So, one, we got the golden rules of working as a concept artist in a team or studio or whatever organization you want to mention. And two, your personal, the structure of your pipeline when you want to work on a new piece or a project, when they give you a brief and you want to move on. So there's two parts to that. So I'm going to mute my mic right now and just listen.
Okay. I'm going to try to answer to the first one first. So at a very high level, my golden rule is to embrace the fail. I would say embrace the fail and work on handling pain. I think it's like a hard job to do, and it can be painful. Maybe people that are not working in this industry or in this field, they think, oh, we are just inspired. We just, let our hands go and stuff come out. From my perspective, it's a little bit different. There is a lot of fail and a lots of pain. Of course, it's not physical pain. It's kind of like keep thinking. So working on stamina and embracing the fact that we fail and learn to move on, accept it and move on, and just trust the process and accumulate experience. That every time you just keep going, okay? Don't look backward too much at the very high level. Another nice rule is stay professional. I think it's nice to keep in mind that we are like I don't know if you call a plumber or it's a profession, so having like a nice attitude with your clients or your mates is always nice to stay professional. Sometimes it's kind of strange what happens sometimes in teams. There is a lot of emotion involved in everything, but I think it's beneficial for everyone if we always remind ourselves to stay professional. It's not always easy, but it's a nice rule to keep. That no matter what's going on, we have our work ethics and we stick to it. Yeah. Those are the ones I feel at the high level. I think we can move more to the how I structure my workflow.
Yeah.
All right. So I think for the video games, I think for movies, I might take a different approach. But for video games, I like to have this sort of approach. I like to block things in 3D at first, very quickly. And I try to do kind of like a line art sketch on top of it very quickly. Try to get some few different variation. Could be a landscape, could be a prop, could be a spaceship, a vehicle, a creature, no matter what. If I don't need the 3D, I'm confident to go just 2D, that's okay. But I try to get like a line art approved from my director or from my client. And from there, I think the line art is a very good media to get the design approved and the composition. And don't get distracted by lighting or mode or colors and stuff. And after that, I like to, once I have the composition or the design approved, maybe with some note, to take the block mesh I did in 3D or whatever, and start to build up and start to refine the 3D mesh or the 2D sculpt or whatever it is, up to the level that the client or my director need. Let's say sometimes maybe we don't have too much time, so I will just flash, some texture, I play with some displacements and just to get some noise, and then I go directly on Photoshop, do some paint over. Or I can extend it, like properly model everything, unwrap the UVs, texture the asset in Substance Painter, generate the landscape procedurally and so on, and create, like a almost fully finished CG scene. It depends. Depends on the requirement and the time I have.
Yeah. All right. So that's an interesting approach. But wait, there's just something I wanted to ask you, like on top of my head. Actually, I'm just gonna say like one thing since we're kind of in the middle of our talk right now. So anyone who's been listening till now, so you're gonna listen to this as well. Let me tell you the interesting thing. This is, I think, the only episode in the past 4 years that I've been recording, past 4.5 years that I've been recording podcasts, that I don't actually look at my notes when I do the conversation, and I think it's giving me a better result, right? Because I think I'm more present and more in the flow. Because the thing is, right now that I'm recording the screen, of course, I can't open up my notepad because you as a viewer can see it as well, and that's not really nice, right? And I know there's options to reduce that, but at the same time, like it's a mess. Like right, it's not gonna work. Not even like even if I like look at my phone, it's not gonna like be like nice, right? So like it's like everything I'm asking or doing, the flow of the order of the questions, just from the 4 years of like just repeating things right now. And I think this is like much easier because I like let me actually tell you something as well. Um, During the recordings, I'm always like looking at the timestamps to say, all right, I'm gonna write these timestamps for the user, right? But now I don't do it. I'm probably not gonna even write the questions I asked because I'll probably forget the order. So this is, I think, the closest I can get to an organic, good product as a podcast, right? Like by product, I mean, of course, podcast, not necessarily a commercialized thing. So this is like an interesting revelation for me. Like, and it just happened middle of the podcast. So, what do you think? Do you think I should keep doing it like this, or do you have any other suggestions?
I'm not a podcast expert, that's for sure.
You don't have to be,
But I always appreciate genuine products
yes, same.
and the reality out of it, with all his goods and bads. Uh, Show the strong and the weakness. I don't know. I can tell you that on my end, as a human being, trying to summarize, like let's say my past 20 or 40 years of my life. It's kind of like I try to build up a train of thoughts based on so many things. And for sure, I miss so many things, and maybe I didn't underline something more important, but I think you get an idea. And I hope everyone is listening, you got an idea what I was talking about.
Would it be okay if I post a segment of this episode on Kara as well? Would that be okay with you? Do I have the permission for that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
of course.
I posted on Instagram, but this is interesting because I think this is the first episode as well where we talk about cars. This is the first episode on Discord, so this is like a first in a lot of things. So it's kind of like a special episode if you think about it, right? So yeah, I'll probably like just cut out the segment we talked about Kara and just put it there. Yeah, I think that, and I think I'll be technically the first ever podcast on Kara. Early birth.
That's awesome.
Yeah, no, exactly, right? I hope the servers could handle like 2 minutes of video, Jesus. But again, by the way, shout out to them. They're, as much as things seem hopeless, but at least, that shouldn't be enough justification for us to just give up and give in. Like any little resistance or fight, let's just stick him to it, and just support him as much as we can, right?
Yeah.
Because, yeah, one thing's for sure, Monopoly sucks, right? Just like, any 3D software, you 2 days later, Autodesk buys them. Just Monopoly in any corporation sucks. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I see a pattern on that. Like, every time there is something cool, I don't know, it could be the blockchain technology, at first they're geeks playing with it. It's super cool. And then as soon as, I don't know, the big corporation on board on that, they break it. It just becomes something weird that doesn't reflect exactly the value of, I don't know, the origin community, and they just break it.
Do you really know what the problem is? I don't think like the reason that the fight against AI has gotten so hard is because, like, let's say, all right. Did you remember what happened like a month ago or a couple of weeks ago about Helldivers? That all the players striked and they review bombed the game on Steam. Do you remember the news?
No, I didn't saw that.
Let me give you a short version. Basically, like, Helldivers, the city of Helldivers, was trying to make a deal with PlayStation to, make it mandatory for every Helldivers account to be linked to a PSN account, PlayStation Network account, right? And it caused a huge uproar, because PlayStation Network doesn't support all the countries. It was like 50, 60. I think it doesn't support a lot of countries and regions, right? And if that happened, a lot of people who even bought Helldivers or didn't buy Helldivers, they wouldn't be able to access their account anymore. And they would like that. And people really bombed the hell out of that. And they won. And you had to backtrack. The CEO changed. And I mean, the CEO didn't seem like a bad guy. He just didn't handle the corporate business side of the game. So he just went to the creative side of the team. So he just put someone else as the CEO. But that was something that people were really hyped and excited about. And there were a lot of number and gamers are a lot of them out there, right? But for example, now why did I just say this story right now? Well, now let's look at the case when it comes to like AI art and people losing jobs in the industry left and right, right? And by the way, I think even if everything was regulated from day one, it was guaranteed that a lot of job positions would be lost because of AI, even if it was completely regulated and it was done by greed or something. But this, now that there's like greed of big corpos behind it, of course, is getting accelerated at an exponential rate. But the main problem, all right, let me get straight to the point. The main problem is I don't think like losing our jobs is something that a lot of people would get happy about because most people don't care. The same way they don't care if a lot of tech jobs or programming jobs or graphic design jobs or front-end development jobs are getting completely scraped by AI. So that's the main problem, because who cares about artists losing job in the industry? Artists. And compared to a lot of demographics that are right now present in this sphere of like let's say entertainment industry, we're not a lot that much. But I'm not saying that it's impossible to fight or something, but I'm just saying is the fight is a little bit challenging against this thing because of that, right? Because if you just see the comments and like people who tweet under like posts about this AI stuff, you see that there are actually people who see no problem with artists losing job to AI, or for example, people are like just being mad and salty about it, that oh my god, like I made all this AI art, like I'm an artist too, like you guys shouldn't gatekeep or stuff like that. This is like people like this actually exist, and you'd think that they would have some sort of conscience, even not just conscious, self-awareness. Like that's a bad word that I just mentioned, conscious. No, that's not the context for it. Self-awareness that hey, maybe you can't cheat your way to something, right? Because yeah, just there's so many things to go on, but that was just my 2 cents about why the whole fight against AI is so disgustingly hard right now, to be honest. But I'm not saying it's impossible, but challenging. Yeah, your thoughts?
My thoughts on AI, where to start? I would like to see the reaction of those people if I say, yeah, okay, if I lose my job, where do you think the government supports come from? From taxes. Do we want that? Like right now, I am an active, economically speaking, like an active citizen that I receive money, I go to the grocery, I spend money, I make, stores, I support the real economy. If we all get replaced by AI, or let's say even 40% or 20%, we all become negative actors, economically speaking, in the real economy. And that's catastrophic. And I think nobody wants to see that. Like nobody. That means I cannot spend money, right? That means the grocery store is not going to get, my weekly income. My weekly, I don't know how to say, part of the money. And it's like, it's going to be like very, very bad for everyone. Because I don't think that here the problem is just concept artists losing their job. I think the AI problem it's extended at the entire society. I think from call center to, I don't know, how long it's going to take once they're going to apply AI to robotics. I mean, it's massive. So here we need like a solid regulation, a whole level. It's not just concept artists. Like at society level, if concept artists disappear, it's not nice, that's for sure. But it's not the end of the world. But let's say if healthcare or the transportation system get replaced, or if all of those jobs get replaced, and and we don't have like a solution, to how the society can handle that, it's just going to be catastrophic at the whole level. You see what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like a society problem. It's not just art-related problem. Of course, we were the first. We were one of the first.
No, we're not.
We were not.
Programmers. Those are screwed in a lot of positions when it comes to losing jobs to AI.
Yeah, but I remember, like at the very very beginning, Midjourney came out.
Yeah.
I mean, it was more Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know about that. Like who, but we were one of the first.
Yep.
Let's say. I remember I was like talking about AI, and nobody else was giving a crap about. I don't know. My family was like, "Oh, AI? What? What's that?" And I don't know. Like 6 months later, all the news they were talking, "Oh, ChatGPT here and there." So I think visual artists, we were one of the first to get hit. But now I think it's a society problem, but very broad spectrum. No one is safe.
For sure. For sure. And yeah, like people say, like, one of the biggest arguments is now that AI is not really good at design parts. I think Feng Zhu did like a comprehensive video on his YouTube channel recently. Like, I think he came back after hiatus, right? I don't know if you follow his FZD YouTube channel, but he made a whole video about it. He said a lot of interesting stuff, and yeah, he's right. Yeah, AI is really good at form, but not very good at design, interior, exteriors. Yeah, those type of stuff, those type of sketches. And you know what? People used to make fun of like AI for making hands 6 fingers, but here we are now. It's improved, and it's gotten a lot better, and it's getting crazier. And I think it's kind of like the rate of growth of it seems completely unchecked, because there's been so many derivative AIs being made right now. Some of, like, shall I say, like malicious AIs being made and developed. Like, I don't want to name names, but there are some really nasty ones out there that could be really dangerous, like actual, like criminal, I would even say. And yeah, this whole thing is just, just like with crypto, like I think 10 or 15 years ago, like a lot of countries were slowly starting to make policies and talk about it in their congresses or stuff like that to make, regulations and stuff. And I think it takes a bit of time for AI to do that as well, right? But at the same time, yeah, like it's going to be interesting next couple of decades, because we've just started this, basically entered the age of kind of life with artificial intelligence. And it's at the same time very intense, because I've benefited a lot from using ChatGPT. It's a very interesting tool to learn for education, to be honest. But oh boy, there's so many cans of worms to open here, and to not open, I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's an overwhelming topic. All right, so I like to always, when I see a problem, even work related, to try to put it in a context and understand the context first, and how the problems try to, I don't know, resolve himself in that context. So I think the context here is for a capitalistic society. There we go. Go very high level. So in a capitalistic society, I think AI answers to two very good fundamentals rules. It's fast and it's cheap. And I think that's the main problem here, is that we created like a capitalistic environment that reward quantity over quality, and yeah, like let's say, if it's cheaper, it's going to be better. it's not. There's not like a strong ethic behind that. What the society produced those days. So if we see that, this is actually what we don't need those days. I believe we actually need, as a society, we need to slow down, to consume less, to produce less, but at much better quality. I think in pretty much all the fields, even in video games. I think we need like better video games, not more video games. We need better quality of food. We need, I don't know, we need better stories. We need better movies. I don't know. Let's just think about something. We just need to stop to mass produce garbage. I literally feel that I'm living to pay taxes and buying trash, objects and things that I just need to buy and rebuy again because the quality doesn't hold up. After 3 years, after 4 years, after 100 kilometers, I have to, sell my car and buy a new one, and always like that. I think it's an overall system that it's wrong at that level. And if we inject AI on that system, that's what we are doing now, it's just gonna like explode. It's just gonna, to me, it looks like a recipe for disaster, like a real disaster at many, many levels, from the economics to existential. So, yeah.
Yeah. And yeah,
that's how I see it from
definitely. And
from the list stats.
Yeah, there's something I want to say, but I think I forgot it. Oh god.
I cannot hear you.
Yeah, I just want to say. Oh god, I was just muted the whole time. Yeah, like basically what I said was what I was muted was I wanted to say something, but I forgot. I couldn't remember. That's what I was trying to just say. While you couldn't hear me, Jesus. All right, so yeah, there's something I just actually want to say, but I can't remember. So if it came back, I'll tell you again. But for now, let's move on to another subject, if you agree, right? If there's anything else you want to talk about the concept of AI, is there anything else remaining?
Probably, we can move on.
If anything else came up, we can go back to it again. But for now, let's actually talk about some of your inspirations. Who are some of your favorite artists and designers that have inspired you the most?
I think my main reference at school, at the comic book art school, was Sergio Toppi, comic book artist, an Italian comic book artist, Alberto Breccia from Argentina, Moebius, Tannino Liberatore, Frazetta, Simon Beasley, and those were my reference when I was learning. And then in the digital, I would say Sparth. I used to look a lot of James Pike environments back in the days. Greg Mullins,
of course,
Jamie Jones, and I'm pretty sure I'm forgetting some of them, but those were my.
And also, while we're on the topic of inspirations, growing up, what were some of your favorite, IPs and franchises that really inspired you, or are still your faves? Like when it came to like any franchise or IPs, whether it be video games, movies, comics, anything.
An IP that inspired me?
That you love and kept inspiring you to do art, maybe.
Okay, so my favorite game to play is Resident Evil 4 that I play on the Cube. I play it so much. but that's not the game that inspired me visually.
Mm-hmm.
Visually, I think I get inspired like here and there. For sure, from Dead Space to Lord of the Rings. I don't know. Yeah, I don't have like one IP inspiration. I think I kind of like a sponge. I try to take things here and there when I see something that resonate with me. I don't know. From your eyes, what my work?
For me?
I mean, what's your guess?
Oh.
What could be my inspiration?
Hmm. All right. That's nice. You just switched it around on me. All right. That's good. Wait. All right. All right. So let's see. Well, definitely sci-fi stuff, if I'm not mistaken. Uh, mm, like, like it's hard to guess. To be honest, like not that it's not hard to guess, but it's also not easy to guess as well. You know, because your works have been in so many niches, like specifically deep as well. So yeah, but
Yeah, I cannot see like I see myself as well like
yeah.
like I don't have like a one straight
No, I mean you don't have to be a one
reference.
straight or thing, but I mean even if you were like multiple inspirations, yeah, that'd be good to know. But yeah, it's interesting. So you must have gotten inspired by a lot of things, bits and different pieces from here and there, and yeah. So there's not specifically a strong like a couple of cases, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, yeah. If I think about like when I'm doing something, I try to focus more on the tools or the technique,
Mm-hmm.
and of course the requirement of the task. Then try to achieve like a result like somebody else. Of course, maybe sometimes I see an image in ArtStation. I don't even maybe know who's this artist. Like, oh, that's interesting. That's a nice treatment. That's a nice color combination, color harmony or something. And maybe I just save it and I keep it in my reference board, and then it's just going to be like a glimpse. It's not going to be like, whoa, I'm going to like deep dive into this artist and I try to extrapolate everything from that artist. Or maybe I just get that little things or but for sure, what I can tell you that I focus a lot on the technical aspect of the 3D software. I like to spend a lot of time on that.
Interesting. So what are some of your favorite 3D softwares that you use currently?
Yeah, I have quite a list. It depends what I need to do. Um, but let's say I used to be like a Max user, 3D Studio Max, but then I switched to Blender as a general package for everything that has to be, I don't know, like movie unwrapping, layout. Also for rendering, I like Cycle. I use ZBrush for more organic, from creature or rocks, plants, all of these kind of things. I use Moi for hard surface, for CAD modeling. I'm actually transitioning to plasticity. It has like
Oh yeah, I've heard about that.
it's like the fillets, the bevels. Awesome in that software. I like to use Gaia for procedural terrain generation. I like to use TerraGen 4 for generating skies and clouds. Substance Painter for texturing, what else? Clarice for environment rendering. What else I have on the list? Yeah, that's my basic package.
All right, awesome. And yeah, I don't know why my brain is not really following up with me, because like I have a question in mind that I'm like, oh, I'm gonna just follow up with this now, and I'm like, like it's just slipping from my mind. But wait, give me a sec, just give me a sec, wait, because I'm sure it'll come back right now. There's something I was gonna ask about the pipeline of 3D. Oh, never mind. My previous question that I forgot just came back. Let me just ask that now before it jumps out again, like a frog. I need to get it. So I was gonna ask you about working on Guardians of Galaxy projects. Like, how did that opportunity came by, and how was the whole process of working on that? Any interesting stories about working on that game? Any fun memories or something?
Yeah, I can tell you that the art team, the concept art team on that project was amazing. It's probably one of the best team I ever worked with. Was all of the artists crazy talented. With many of them, I became friend. Never had the feeling of competition. Everyone was just
Chill.
I don't know, doing his job, chill, and then it was an amazing atmosphere. The art direction was the vision. It was crazy solid. The art director, the leads, the production team. Yeah, that was a team with capital T. Awesome. It was an amazing experience. That was something. Yeah.
Do you know Sean Vo?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was on the podcast, I think, a year and a half ago. Yeah, he was all working on the Guardians of Galaxy game as well. I just remember.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah, he's awesome.
We were playing. I worked with him, and
nice.
That was fun. Sometimes at break, after at the break, we were going and playing Magic the Gathering together.
Yes.
No. Crazy artist, super good.
And compared to...
And amazing.
All right, so now it was Guardians of Galaxy 1, but what about your other projects? What was the most, like, any other interesting stories, working on, other IPs, whether it be about art pipeline or just maybe a fun memory or something?
Okay. Something interesting that happened after I worked on Guardian of the Galaxy at Eidos, I worked for Nova Quark. I think they're still developing a game called Dual Universe, I think. Yeah. It's kind of like a Minecraft and Space Engineer all together. Crazy. They're using like a Russian engine, voxel engine. It's a voxel game. It's crazy. Every player is playing on the same server, so it's super crazy tech. And I was doing some asset for them, designing some asset, and then one day my lead came and was like, "Hey, they need a cinematic. Can you do it? You just take, do some concept, do a storyboard, do some concept, and then we animate them a little bit in After Effects or something." And that was before Christmas. And then I was like, yeah, sure, I can do that. And then at Christmas, I was like, oh, come on. Because I was already working a lot in 3D, and that was like a hardcore sci-fi, and the storyboard was a lot about like a spaceship moving, planets and stuff like that. And then I was like, oh, you know what? I'm going to try to make like a full CG cinematic trailer. So I decided to use my 2 weeks holiday to prepare like a sneak peek, a few shots of the cinematic. And I presented after Christmas. I went to the lead, the studio manager. I said, "Hey, so this is what I did by myself during the holiday. I can do like a full CG proper cinematic here." And I show the sneak peek, and they were impressed, and they were like, "Oh yeah, that's nice." But then I said, "But you guys need to give me proper render farm, software, and the time." And they trust me. And I did it. In 6 months alone, I did everything in the visual. I learned a tons from rendering, lighting, compositing, After Effects, Premiere, Loop, all of those kind of things. But I did it. I had like full support from them. And yeah, now you can see it on YouTube. For a one-man army product, I think it's acceptable. I was pretty proud. I had to manage everything basically. So that was an interesting task, I would say. A lot of failure and lots of learning. Yeah, I will send you the link later if you want.
Sure, yeah, that would be awesome. Is it okay if I put it in the captions as well?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you heard it, folks. So if you're interested, to see the works he did, definitely check out the link in the description. It's I think the one link I posted is ArtStation. One of them is his website, and the other one is, I think, the Guardian is Galaxy Art Plus. The fourth one will be the link you'll send me later. So yeah, stay tuned. So yeah, here's the thing. We've talked so much about art by now, right? So let me ask you something else. What other non-art related stuff we got going on in your life? Like, what other hobbies or goals or just any other just that are completely non-art related, by the way, you got going on or you want to have going on in your life,
I like dirt bike. That's something like take a lot of my passion, a lot of my money too. I like drum. I like tinkering with stuff, 3D printing. I had my period with, I don't know if you're aware, but a Raspberry Pi.
Oh, Raspberry Pi. When I was a teenager, I really wanted to buy one, but yeah, I saved a bunch of money, but I couldn't buy it. But it's definitely on my list of things that I want to try to do. Like making videos with Raspberry Pi is just such a cool thing.
Yeah, you can do so many things with that. I can show you, like, that was my project. I basically, I built like a workstation, a Linux workstation on the Raspberry Pi. I designed and printed the case.
Oh.
And I was able to run Blender on it. And I was able to power it with solar power, the solar panel.
Oh, so wait, the solar panel is connected to a DC power supply? Or is it telling me that? Or does it have to run on an AC current of, like...
No, so basically, because the solar panel output alternate unstable electricity, it's better to plug into like a bank battery, like the one you use for a smartphone. And then with an USB, you just plug the Raspberry Pi into that.
I get it. So you store the energy on the power bank, then you... All right. That seems stable.
Yeah, it's stable. And I was able to run Blender on it. Of course, it's because the graphics kernel do not support OpenGL, so it can support up to Blender 2.7a or 7.7. I don't know, the old one, not the full one.
So wait, does it have a screen, or do you have to plug this within a screen as well?
Oh no, I have to plug. It has like a.
So input, output.
It has like a micro HDMI.
I guess you can connect it. Can you use your phone as display? Right?
Maybe by Bluetooth.
No, just as the
Um,
display device, not the actual like processing device, because the processor and the CPU will be, of course, the Raspberry Pi. But this like, is it possible? Like, I'm just curious. I don't know.
um,
Just use
I
the
mean,
LCD features of the smartphone as like the display of.
if I ask you, can you display your current PC on your phone? I think not.
I'm sure someone knows a trick on how to do this out there.
Uh,
I don't know.
my knowledge
I
will
don't
stop
know.
there. I think
I think technically there
I
should
mean
be a way.
you can remote from my phone. I can remote into a computer. Yes, you can,
Hmm.
but I don't know if you can use your phone as an external device. Well, maybe with via Bluetooth. Yeah, I did that with an iPad or something like that, with like a tablet.
Mm-hmm.
You can use the tablet as a secondary monitor via Bluetooth.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, other than that, I mean, it's I mean, you can use it to watch TV. You can plug into a TV this Raspberry Pi. You can plug in a monitor. It support up to two 4K monitor. I mean, um,
That's good. But it definitely cannot run
um,
Doom, right?
the first one, yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, some people build like a retro machine.
Mm.
You can build like the first Nintendo console,
Yeah,
or
you can definitely play any Sega games on it.
yeah, no, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's
That's
technically it's
awesome.
like a quad core with 8 GB of RAM. I mean,
Mm.
it's pretty solid for even for browsing internet or stuff like that. It's fine. Um, yeah, 3D printing. I was into that. It's very cool. I was into photogrammetry
Mm.
with drones and stuff, and scanning stuff. Uh, yeah, right now I'm also into gardening. Here is the summer. Uh, I like to cultivate my vegetables to eat, taking care of
Where do you live right now, by the
trees.
way? You're in Montreal, right?
A little bit more north, up north. Let's say an hour drive north in the countryside.
Oh, so the weather must be nice there.
It's nature. There's a lot of nature.
Good.
Flies. Now is the period for a couple of months. We're gonna have lots of flies, but no, it pay off. I like it.
Awesome, man. Awesome. And well, well. Whew. Guess what? We've reached the final question and section of the podcast, which is called Time Capsule. And all right, let me explain what it means. Basically, it's a question that I started asking since episode 75, and I wish I started like from the episode 0, like not 01. And basically, it is like this. This is the premise of the question. If you could tell us the most valuable life lessons, the most valuable and important life lessons you've learned in your life thus far as a human, in your human experience thus far, what would those be that you could share with us? Like the most valuable, like at the core of your experience as a human thus far. What would those lessons be? And those advices be?
Hmm. So in general, like the broad spectrum of life, not just as an artist.
Yeah, definitely not as an artist, as a human. Yeah, as your human experience, because you're trying to give life advice to anyone who might be listening, right?
Yeah, yeah. I think, as I said before, embrace the fail, the process. Um, and move on. Something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Embrace the fail and move on. It's very pragmatic. It's,
That's actually quite profound. Embrace the fail, move on. Yeah, just let go, do your best, and move forward. There's another way to say it, I guess.
yeah, I mean, when I say embrace the fail, doesn't mean you still need to pay attention.
Yeah.
Because if not, it's I mean, if you keep failing on the same thing, that's not good. Yeah, if you're not understanding why you failed, that's bad.
Absorb the experience points, learn from it, move on. Go.
Yeah, exactly. When I say embrace the fail, it's like, okay, so understand it. You fail, understand it. It's all good. Move on.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's not, everything is not good, just try to move on and trust the process. Trust. I know it's what I always found is that when you feel good and everything go well, everything sounds like easy. It's like, yeah, yeah, sure. It's when stuff do not go well that it's very hard to put those things in place. But if you can, I think it's great. It's the way I find to overcome the obstacle.
Mm-hmm.
Could be the loss, could be the sickness, could be so many things. Yeah, maybe another thing, it's appreciate what you have. That's always nice. Honestly, I need to be very thankful. I'm having a very beautiful life. I'm so, of course, like I think everyone go up and down, but overall, like I'm blessed. And sometimes I forget about it, and I start, the head start to, focus on
the negative
noise. It's not even negative. It's just noise.
Yeah.
We just, constantly get distracted by noise. But the reality is this. Yeah, I'm very lucky. I feel I'm very, very lucky. So, yeah. Appreciate what we have. It's good.
Those were some good bangers. Good lines. Of advice and wisdom. Great stuff, man. And, well, folks, I hope you enjoyed this episode. This was like a very new thing for me, right? This new format of recording a podcast in Discord. Of course, I've done recording on Discord with a group discussion podcast in the past, sure, but this was the first, doing like a one-on-one on Discord. So Google Meet, to be honest, sucks for that. Like there was like some add-ons on Google Chrome that helped you record better or something, like because when you record on Google Meet, it condenses all the video into like, the video switches within whoever is speaking. But now it's like, both of us are on the same grid and level and we're speaking. It's sort of a nice format on Discord, right? But yeah, I wish, for example, Discord would add a feature where like if you have Nitro, there's like this extra recording feature of your video calls that would give you like MP4 files of like, each participant. That would be like a huge game. I would actually pay for that. I wish Google Meet did that because they can easily do that stuff. It's not that hard. But they went with this weird format of like, anyone who's in the call, their video will pop up. No, give me the video of everyone. Jesus. And yeah, this is, sorry for a little bit of rants going off the trail on that. But yeah, so this has been my frustrations with, recording the podcast recently. So yeah, as always, leave a comment down below if you have any suggestions, like, any comments, critiques, or anything, And I'll probably, as I said, post a snippet of this on Kouryer, and it would be my first piece of content on Kouryer as well. So yeah, I'll probably try to put the highlights and shorts of the podcast in Kouryer as well, hopefully. And yeah, officially kickstart the first podcast on Kouryer. Hopefully, probably someone's uploading their stuff right now, so I can't really say that. I don't know. But hopefully I'll be the first when I do that at that point. But yeah, anyway, take care, everyone. Stay safe. We're 10 episodes away from the finish of the end of season 3 of the podcast, so that'll be interesting. And I have a special guest, lined up for episode 300, so stay tuned. And with that being said, take care, everyone. Stay safe. And again, thanks so much for coming by. And where can people contact you, by the way, if they had any questions? I forgot to ask that, Siri. Jesus, sorry.
On Kouryer? Or, yeah, I don't know. I still have
Our station?
an R station and an Instagram. If you write a DM, for sure I will answer them.
Right.
So, yeah.
Awesome.
Feel free to contact me if you have any question.
All right, awesome. There you have it, folks. Take care, everyone. Stay safe. Till next episode. Bye bye.